This flashlight claims it's the brightest and strongest flashlight made to date. That's a pretty bold statement for a $45 item. So let's see if it's true. Sponsored by Linode, cloud computing from Akamai. Hey everyone, how are you all doing? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Krazy Ken, and there's a lot of legit flashlights out there, but these scammy flashlight ads are just flooding the internet. Some even claim to have lightsaber capabilities. Now, a frequent brand I see popping up is called EliteTac, so that's going to be the focus for today. Well, the first ad I was going to look at is on a YouTube channel that has been suspended. That's a good sign. Let's try another. This ad starts by saying lightsabers are finally a reality, and you can own one. And it shows someone blasting a laser beam through a wall and melting it. Then they show a flashlight melting a plastic bag, and the advertisers claim it's a military flashlight that's basically a lightsaber that fits in your pocket. And they warn us that this $600 flashlight is not a toy. It can melt through anything and start fires. And it projects an incredibly powerful beam, reaching up to 2 miles. Seriously, that's how they pronounce the word. Projects. AI voices fail us yet again. Then the ad says this flashlight was designed for American Special Forces and it features state-of-the-art military-grade CREE LED tech. Civilians couldn't buy this flashlight because it was designed for military use only, until a few weeks ago when an ex-Special Forces operator redesigned the light for civilian use. He simply memorized the design from his days in the military and built one at home. Then a bunch of lawyers told him he couldn't copy the design, so this alleged ex-Special Forces operator made some tweaks to the flashlight to make it better for survival and home use, while retaining all the same military capabilities. But now it's legal to own, and he calls it EliteTac. And the ad boldly claims it's the most powerful flashlight ever made. They also claim it's waterproof and fireproof, and the beam is hot enough to cook an egg on. Then the ad says because this light is so powerful, the US Product Safety Commission is trying to classify it as military-grade defense equipment, but it'll still remain legal to own. But the website selling it might get shut down soon, and you can't buy it anywhere except the official website. And for today only, you can get a 50% discount. Oh gosh, where do I even begin? This is one of the worst ads I've ever seen. There's just so much wrong with it. So let's break it down. For starters, EliteTac's design looks similar to the Bell & Howell tac light. Even the word tac is in the name, so I already think it's suspicious that their design is similar to a well-known brand. But to be fair, there's many similar looking flashlights on websites like Alibaba where you can buy them in bulk and customize them with your own logo, so I wouldn't be surprised if multiple companies do that. But now let's analyze this lightsaber BS. Ignoring the fact that these sci-fi weapons do not exist, and even if they did, there would be heavy regulation on something that can cut your hand off like butter, this is merely a visual effects composition. Many After Effects tutorials can show you how to make this. And if you study the footage, you'll see the light emitting from the lightsaber is actually coming from behind the subject, based on the shadow position, which indicates the lightsaber was added in post-production after the footage was shot. Also, the first 2 frames of the lightsaber hitting the wall cause no damage to the wall, but the other frames that follow show damage. Fake. The closest I've seen a lightsaber come to life is on Hacksmith's YouTube channel, with their plasma-based design. However, that's not what we're seeing in the video ad. But anyway, it seems like this was just some sort of gimmick, one-off pattern interrupt to try to get the viewer's attention at the beginning, even though it never comes up later and it has absolutely nothing to do with the actual product. Moving on, there's various different flashlight products shown throughout the ad, and they do not match the actual EliteTac product being sold. For example, at the beginning, the ad shows a flashlight melting a plastic bag, but it's not the EliteTac. It looks similar to a Wicked Laser's flash torch, and at 15 seconds, it shows what appears to be an Immolent MSO3, also not an EliteTac. More inconsistencies equals more red flags. But can a flashlight like the MSO3 start fires anyway? Yes. Yes, it can. Okay, let's put this in water before I die. And quick PSA before we continue. In the ad, you see multiple people shining lights at windows and buildings and stuff like that. Yeah, just don't do that. Common courtesy. Now, what's with the CREE claim? Well, they make it seem like it's some sort of special military technology, but it's not. It's good tech, but anyone can get it. It's not exclusive to the military. My MSO3, for example, has 3 Cree LEDs, and they're frickin' bright. It's not a military thing. And yes, I said Cree. It's not C-R-E-E, it's a brand name, not an acronym. Cree LED is a company specializing in LED tech, and as of 2021, they are owned by SGH, which owns several tech brands. Cree LED makes several types of LEDs, but the type we see in these flashlights is called a COB or COB LED, which stands for chip on board. Compared to traditional DIP or DIP LEDs, dual inline package, COB LEDs can produce more lumens per watt and can be packaged into smaller spaces. So again, nothing military exclusive. And that brings us to this ex-Special Forces operator. I always advise you to proceed with caution if an ad says something like this. My theory is the ads do this because people look up to people that were in the military and who are veterans, but again, it's just a marketing tactic, and especially if they don't say a person's name, that's a red flag, because if they don't give a name, you can't research the person to see if they were real, so be careful. Oh, and for no reason whatsoever, there's fake muzzle flashes on the soldier's gun. The flash stays on the screen for 2 frames and there's no recoil on the gun. Boy, fake lightsabers, fake guns, these ad makers just love After Effects tutorials. Oh, and what about the fireproof and the cooking egg claims? Don't worry, I'm hungry, so we're gonna cook an egg soon. And we're gonna bust out Crazy Carl's blowtorch. Remember what happened to the electricity saving box? Oh yeah. Back in the ad, we then see this warning that the US might shut down this website. Well, once you see the true non-threatening power of this flashlight, you'll realize that's BS. It's just a scarcity marketing tactic to fill the viewer with a sense of urgency to buy right away. Same thing with those 50% discounts, which never expire, even though the websites usually claim they do. So yeah, this ad is full of red flags, but buckle up, because we're just getting started. Let's take a look at their website. Whoa, big surprise! The first thing at the top is a 50% discount. And hurry, there's only 72 left at this price. I checked again 2 months later, and hey, guess what? There's still 72 left. The website claims EliteTac can start fires, and it's the brightest and strongest flashlight made to date. That's a bold claim. So, do you want to put the specs on your website or a data sheet? No? No, you're not going to do any of that? Okay. If a product on a website makes a bold claim and there's no citations or research or data sheets or anything to back it up, that's a red flag. For the EliteTac to be the brightest flashlight, it would need to output at least 100,000 lumens to be comparable with the MS-18, which is a $670 flashlight. But hey, if your $45 flashlight can beat that, color me impressed. The site shows various images of super bright flashlights, which seem too good to be true, especially at this price, but we'll confirm that once we test it out. You probably know where I'm going with this, right? I went ahead and bought one. But remember, you can only buy these on the official website. You can't buy them on Amazon. Oh wait, here it is, on Amazon. Well, I'm gonna buy it on the official website anyway because I just cannot wait to get hit with all of those post-transaction upsells. The checkout page defaults your selection to 5 units for $135. So be careful, if you only want one, make sure to click the buy one button. Sneaky web designers. The checkout page claims this flashlight is valued at $90 frickin', but thanks to our discount, we can get it for $45. And I can get an extra 10% off, but I have to activate it in 3, 2, 1. Negative 1 minute 59 seconds? Okay, that clearly didn't work. I'll just stick with my 50% discount, please. Oh look, a post-transaction upsell. No, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give it a rest. Hang on, did you see that? They're selling one of those scammy chargers. I don't need to buy one of those because I already did for another episode. Check that out. So, as you can see, it arrived. Oh boy, I can't wait to see what beefy battery this thing uses. Oh man. 3 AAAs? Yeah, that's not gonna do jack. Generally speaking, LEDs emit 100 lumens per watt. 100,000 lumens needs at least 1,000 watts of power. AAA batteries can output about 5.4 watts each, and 3 of them equals 16.2 watts of max theoretical power, generating approximately 1,600 lumens. On the other hand, the MS-18 uses an 8-cell, high-current lithium battery that can easily handle the 1,000 watts required. In other words, if we ignore many physical limitations, we would need 186 AAA batteries to reach 100,000 lumens. But whatever, let's test this crap. I inserted 3 AAA batteries into the module, but I noticed one of the batteries was wiggling. It appears the battery module is missing a spring, but maybe that's by design. Maybe that's part of its magical military technology. Okay, well, let's put it all together, and it does absolutely nothing. So yeah, military technology my ass. This thing doesn't do anything. If the battery is, look, it just comes right out. Like, if it's wiggling like that, there's no way the current is gonna flow. That makes no sense. The website says it's indestructible. Well, that sucks. I can't do any comparisons if the flashlight doesn't work, so I'm gonna need to order more. So I went back to the website, which apparently had a user interface change since the last time I was there, and I ordered 2 more. While the new units are shipping, I'm going to take the battery module out of the Bell & Howell tac light, because it looks like it's the same type of construction. So I'm gonna pop it in here. Get ready for the world's most powerful flashlight. Oh, I am so excited. I've waited my whole day for this moment. That's it? Well, the good news is we know the EliteTac itself actually works. The only damaged part was the battery module. And the scammers value this thing at $90. Let's do some comparisons with the EliteTac and the Bell & Howell tac light, since I'm assuming that's kind of the vibe they're going for. Oh, and that must be the replacement unit. Hey, thanks. Cool. I have a little delivery person under my desk apparently. I had no idea. Okay, hope he's been fed. All right, let's do some comparisons. Thankfully, my replacement EliteTac works. Thanks for getting it right the second time, I guess. Physically, the exterior build quality feels the same for both products. And visually, the designs look similar. Similar shape, black color, orange button, and wrist loop. There's some subtle differences. For instance, the logos are in different places, and the tac light has a China label on it, whereas EliteTac does not. The flooded beam for the EliteTac is slightly larger than the tac light, but they're pretty much the same. The circuitry on the EliteTac is more visible than the tac light, and the EliteTac's spotted beam reveals defined shapes emitting from the LED, whereas tac light's beam looks more clean and smooth. But I can also adjust the beam angle of the EliteTac to match the tac light, and then the LED pattern goes away. Both flashlights have an SOS and strobe mode, and 3 brightness levels. And to the naked eye, both max brightness levels are similar, but the tac light has a bit of a warmer light compared to the EliteTac. Overall, they're pretty much the same, but remember, Bell & Howell's tac light sells for less than half of what the EliteTac sells for, and the Bell & Howell tac light actually worked on the first try. But we can't stop here. The EliteTac guys made bold claims, so let's compare it against a true powerful flashlight of similar size, the Immolent MSO3. And remember, I bought 2 additional EliteTacs, so while I'm out comparing these things, I can put my spare unit on egg cooking duty, and we'll see how that goes. Now, if we're gonna do a true numerical lumens comparison, we need some expensive equipment, namely an integrating sphere and a lab-grade spectroradiometer. And together, that stuff would cost about $20,000. And unfortunately, my budget only has $19,995 left. I just had to buy a $5 footlong for lunch. That was a mistake. Instead, I'll make my own DIY integrating sphere with hollow foam domes and 3 coats of white matte paint to help diffuse the light evenly. I'm also using an X-Tech LT40 light meter, which is calibrated for white LEDs. These meters measure in lux, and for what it's worth, 1 lux is equal to 1 lumen per square meter. But lumens aren't important in our test because EliteTac never made a definitive lumens claim. I'm merely trying to get a relative comparison. And now, with a few minor alterations, behold, Grady, the integrating sphere. The flashlight and light meter will sit in holes on top of his head, and I'll measure the max brightness of the MSO3 and the EliteTac. And I'll measure 2 units each so I can average the results. The MSO3 outputted approximately 354,000 lux, whereas the EliteTac outputted approximately 10,850. Now, is there a way to estimate the EliteTac's lumens without fancy lab equipment? Yes. I plotted the lux output of the 2 MSO3s on brightness levels 1 through 4, and thanks to Google Sheets, I calculated the regression function which can help me find lumens. I plugged the EliteTac's average lux into the equation and got 181.205 lumens, so I believe it's safe to say the true output of the EliteTac is approximately 180 lumens, nowhere near 100,000. Now let's check in on the egg. Aw, delicious, looking good if you like your eggs bloody raw. Oh, You're not cooking eggs with this thing. So, numerical comparisons aside, let's take these out and look at them in a real-world setting. And this time, I'll add in a Noctagon K1 thrower. And the reason I want to add a thrower into the equation is because the way their beams are designed makes them kinda look lightsaber-ish, which could be used as misleading imagery in these phony ads. For this test, we balanced the camera's exposure to the MSO3 in turbo mode. In the dark woods, the EliteTac didn't produce much light when spotted, and when flooded, it was barely visible. The Noctagon K1 was much brighter in a concentrated beam, as it's designed to do. And the MSO3, well, it illuminated everything across a wide beam with its 13,000 lumens. But that doesn't make any sense. The EliteTac is supposed to beat it because it's the brightest flashlight in the world, right? I'm sorry, I just keep being sarcastic. I'm just upset the ad lied to me. Well, those advertisers can say whatever they want, but it doesn't make it true. But we can't stop there. There is, in the famous words of Steve Jobs, one more thing. Remember earlier I talked about the world's true brightest flashlight? I'd be crazy to not show off that. So, brace yourselves. Behold, the MS-18. This thing is a chonker. This is typically regarded as the world's brightest flashlight. This thing truly outputs 100,000 lumens, and it generates so much heat that it has a built-in fan. Let's fire you up, and world's brightest flashlight. You know, as they say. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Let's see how the real world's brightest flashlight is. Here we go. Goodness gracious, holy... Oh, there goes the fan. Oh, baby, I'm harnessing the sun. I am the new sun god. I'm not, I'm just Krazy Ken. But yeah, this thing is like having the sun in your hand. It's not even a comparison. I feel so powerful. Okay, that was enough of that. To further show how powerful the MS-18 is, I'm going to an abandoned vaudeville theater. And as you can see, it is plenty dark in here. The perfect place to have fun with our little flashlights. Here's the EliteTac's performance. Yeah, wow, amazing. And here's the MS-18. It floods the theater with light. So I think it's abundantly clear that the EliteTac's most brightest powerful flashlight in the world claim is totally false. But there is another claim they made. They said it's fireproof. Let's test it out. Crazy Carl, bust out your blowtorch. But before we set things on fire, I'd like to thank Michael Mulhern and Johnny Cha for being our top donors in my charity auction for Sock It To 'Em, an organization which donates socks to homeless shelters. Special thanks to everyone who participated, and I encourage you all to keep giving. All right, now let's set some stuff on fire. And remember, don't try this at home. Try it at your friend's house. Crazy Carl ignited the torch and waved it around the flashlight case for about 20 seconds. Then after a quick break, he did it again for 10 more seconds. Then to cool it, we threw it in the snow. Hey, EliteTac claims it's waterproof too, so let's get it a little wet, right? Now, time for the test. And boom, it actually works just fine. It also feels normal. It doesn't feel like it's distorted or damaged. There's maybe a little bit of wear on there, but pretty good job. One of your claims was actually correct. The bar is pretty low though. Hey, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Unless it's digital. Now, I want to shed some light on Linode. And if you have an application or website that needs to be scaled and deployed, Linode has the infrastructure and the 24/7 support you need. Linode offers out-of-box apps for game servers like TF2, CSGO, and even Minecraft. You can run your own virtual private network with OpenVPN, build an online application with Joomla's content management system, or build a video streaming site with a multitude of app choices. There's so much you can do with Linode's affordable Linux virtual machines. And to boot, they offer award-winning 24/7 technical support. Visit linode.com/computerclan and click one of the sign-up buttons. And when you do that, we'll give you a 60-day $100 credit just for watching this episode. And you're supporting the Computer Clan, so thank you very much. So the EliteTac is an incredibly misleading pile of trash. You can get a comparable flashlight for half the price. So don't waste your time with this. And it's certainly not an elegant weapon for a more civilized age. Catch the crazy and pass it on. If only you knew the power of the dark side.